Welcome back to our Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is your latest Arsenal news and transfer news. A lot is happening around the club in these dying days of the transfer window. Ansu Fati has decided to leave Barcelona, and Arsenal and Tottenham have asked for information about this transfer from the agent, George Mendes. We're going to be diving into that story. Quite very peculiar, but very interesting. We'll be talking about Benjamin Pavard as well. Arsenal have entered the race fully to sign Benjamin Pavard. There is Liverpool, there is Manchester United, there is Inter Milan as well. But where will he go? We're going to be diving into that story. Fulham have also made it clear to Arsenal they want to sign Florian Balogun for £35 million maximum. It's either up to Arsenal to reduce the price or actually refuse. Nuno Tavares to West Ham and Nottingham Forest is also on, as a couple of other stories that we're going to be talking about. Hit that button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Let's get this one to 500 likes. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I tell you what, I love a crazy day and I love a crazy week in the transfer market. Well, let's start off with that big one around Benjamin Pavard. Of course, the hike in transfers, the hype in transfer targets actually comes in as courtesy of Arsenal losing Jurgen Timber. So a couple of players are linked with the club, really, just to find who is going to replace Timber from the market. I mean, Arsenal and Mikel Arteta are saying that, we're going to adapt. We're going to see what we can do. A couple of outgoings and incomings are going to be done in this week and next week as well, according to Mikel Arteta. Now, Benjamin Pavard is Pavard, actually, not Pavard, but Pavard is one that you should be keeping your eyes on. Fabrizio Romano has said that it is a very interesting situation with Pavard. He's one of the few defenders still available for what you would call a cheap price, what you call a cost-effective deal. And what we know from The Guardian and a couple of other sources is that Arsenal are not willing to spend hundreds of millions or upwards of 50 million on this deal. We don't want to sign another 40 million centre back, another 50 million centre back. Arsenal want to go cost effective, and that is what Manchester United, that is what other clubs like Inter Milan are actually also trying to do. So Pavard then becomes a solid option for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta wanted Aymeric Laporte, but it looks like Laporte is going to be going to Al Nassr, and therefore that deal is absolutely off. So Pavard, let's start off with the competition because it's quite competitive on that one. Man United had agreed personal terms with Ben Pavard, but the problem is that Harry Maguire has refused to leave the Old Trafford. That actually means that we are ahead slightly ahead of Man United in terms of where we are, because we are in need and we need absolute urgency. So if Arsenal can actually go and agree a deal with Pavard and Bayern Munich, we could actually get it done before Man United, because United have to get Harry Maguire out of the way. They have to do a couple of other deals as well, probably get some money in. So but United is a concrete option, and if they can get Harry Maguire out of the door, don't be surprised Pavard to go to Man United. The other one is Inter Milan. Inter are also saying that they want to sign Ben Pavard. They've made him a priority, and they've also held personal term talks with the player. It looks like he wants to go there, but his priority would be English Premier League. Liverpool are also believed to have talked about Pavard. They are believed to have held contact with the player's agent and representatives, but nothing is happening for Liverpool. Just like, with Liverpool this summer, you cannot actually guarantee they will sign someone. Okay, so Arsenal then, because we are the newcomers, we are the ones that have not agreed personal terms, we are the ones that have not talked to the player's side or Bayern Munich, but at least we can confirm that he is a strong option among all the options Arsenal are looking at. The other strong option that you should be keeping your eyes on is Mohamed Simakan. There is a potential report saying that potentially we could actually be looking at both Simakan and Kudus. So we could be signing two Mohamed Simakan and Mohamed Kudus. But Pavard is the one topping the stories today, with Fabrizio Romano saying that Arsenal are looking at him as a strong option, especially now that Timber is already out. Now, the other story that is very interesting today is around Ansu Fati. Now, Fati is one story that really doesn't make any sense to me, especially with what is going on at Barcelona. But let's first look at the story. So the story says that Ansu Fati has decided to end his career with FC Barcelona. He's decided to quit the camp now. He's decided to go on and find better, greener pastures. He feels that his career is stunted. He feels that his career is not going forward. His career won't be propelled forward in terms of staying at Barca, and therefore just to increase and improve the trajectory of his path, he wants to find a new club. Now, two clubs have actually reached out to Jorge Mendes, the new agent for Ansu Fati. That is Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal Football Club. Now, initially, I thought this was a story that was put out there for PR and things like that, clickbaiting and all that. But if it is true that Ansu Fati has decided to quit FC Barcelona, and if it's also true that Arsenal have talked to Jorge Mendes, then he was always a concrete option. Now, I know Mikel Arteta understands Ansu Fati. I know Mikel Arteta loves players like Ansu Fati. You look at Martinelli, you look at Leandro Trossard. He plays just like those players. He's got that very exceptional talent. And I think if Arsenal could mold him for like 3 years, we could be signing a player potentially that could sell for hundreds of millions in the future. But let's start off with the FC Barcelona thing. Are Barcelona really going to allow Ansu Fati go after allowing Ousmane Dembele leave, after picking up a red card for Rafinha, which is going to keep him out for three matches? I don't really see that. I don't see Ansu Fati as an easy sell for Barca, right? If Rafinha was around, Ousmane Dembele around, then maybe Xavi would go, okay, I understand you have two players ahead of you, then you can leave, right? But the rest of the options Barca have, be it Ferran Torres, be it Abdi, I don't see anyone that can actually come ahead of Ansu Fati. So I think Barca will talk to him and he will eventually stay. But Tottenham Hotspur being interested also poses a very interesting question. Tottenham need forwards. Tottenham need a number 9. Tottenham also need at least a left winger or a right winger. So if Tottenham are interested, and they believe they can actually do the deal, that actually means that this is not an expensive deal as initially we had anticipated. Because personally, I thought this would take around maybe 70 million, maybe 80 million to do the deal. And that's why I said Arsenal, no chance. Arsenal didn't have a chance to actually sign Ansu Fati. But if it is true that Spurs are interested, and it's also true that they feel they can get the deal done, it means that deal is between 30 to maybe 50 million euros. Now, I'm not really sure Arsenal have the 50 million euros or 40 million euros lying there, but it's not an expensive one, and I would really fancy Arsenal to get at least this deal agreed on player terms, on the player side. But we will see what comes out of there. Ansu Fati has decided Barcelona is no longer the right place for him. He wants to look for greener pastures. Interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. Now, the other stories, of course, are around Joao Cancelo. Arsenal still looking at that one. If Manchester City can actually bulge and agree to sell to us, we will be advancing on Joao Cancelo. That is, of course, if we don't get Benjamin Pavard. We're only going to get one defender. We're not going to get many of those. Now, some of the other big stories are in outgoings. First and foremost, Arsenal have agreed a deal with Cardiff City to get Alexander Runarsson out there on loan. So it's a deal that we have failed to do. Runarsson should have left Arsenal a long time ago. Now, he was brought in as a second goalkeeper to Aaron Ramsdale. He failed terribly at that. And Arsenal, I think, decided that we'll actually let him go. But time in, time out, we have always loaned him out and failed to either terminate his contract or actually get good money for him. No one is interested in buying him. No one is interested in in paying any money for him. So Alexander Runarsson has gone to Cardiff on a loan deal. That is done. Mikel Arteta has already said that it is 32 men in this squad. I need at most 25. So some players are going to be leaving, sure, we're sure of that. Now, Fulham have approached Arsenal. They want to sign Florian Balogun. There is an increasing belief among Fulham ranks that Alexander Mitrovic will eventually leave this summer. Now, they're offering around 35 million, and Arsenal saying that is not enough. I think Fulham are really just wasting time. unless Arsenal are really, going to reduce their asking price. If there is a club like Monaco that have already come in with 40 million euros and it has not worked out for them, it has not ended in their favor, what makes Fulham think that Arsenal will actually go and reduce their asking price for a London rival? I don't really know. I really do not know. But anyway, they've shown their interest in that. Arsenal are looking at Pedro Neto should the Mohamed Kudus deal actually fail. If Mohamed Kudus goes to Brighton, or if he goes to maybe Liverpool, or if he goes to West Ham, who are actually really pressing to sign him this summer, the Arsenal will be looking at Pedro Neto. And Tavares, Arsenal have received a bid from Nottingham Forest to sign him. Arsenal looking at around 22 million. However, all clubs, including West Ham, Nottingham Forest and Besiktas, are saying Arsenal should be, settling for around 15 million euros for the sale of Nuno Tavares. So a lot is going on in the transfer market. I will keep you updated always, all the time. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you right in the next one.